Welcome to Lean Six Sigma Green Belt training, analyze phase. We already done two phases, define and measure. In define phase, we presented our process and problem using descriptions and process map. In measure phase, we presented the problem with the data. So we use data to show what is the scale of the problem. Define phase and measure phase is about as-is process, about the current state process. And the next phase is analyze. Analyze is also about as-is process, about the current process before improvement. And one of the greatest tools from analyze phase is Ishikawa diagram. Ishikawa diagram, called also fishbone diagram or cause-effect diagram, is a great tool to understand not only what are the causes of the problem, but also what are the root causes of the problem. What is the difference? So you can ask many times why we have a certain problem in the process. There is like a tool or technique called 5 why. It means that you ask 5 times why to really get to the root cause of the problem. And it's not like always 5 why. It can be 2 why, it can be 3 why. It depends how deep is the root cause. And fishbone diagram is about understanding what is the root cause, what are the root causes of the problem. And fishbone diagram is also about grouping the root causes in the certain groups. What is important in terms of the fishbone diagram is that we are looking for root causes. So the output of analyze phase is the list of root causes that has impact on our problem. So when you look at the template or fishbone diagram, you can see there's like a problem on the diagram in the place where there's like a head of fish, and there are root causes on the group in the 6 main areas. It can be also 5 areas, 4 areas, depends where you can see areas when the problem is caused. And I will present you the fishbone diagram using 6M. 6M is about 6 group of causes on the fishbone diagram, and the first one is man. Then you have method, mother nature, measurement, machine, and material. What are the differences between them? They are just related with the reasons why we have a problem. And you can use this 6M from the project template. You can use any other that comes to your mind and makes sense from your problem point of view perspective. Okay, so how to update the fishbone diagram? So what's the approach here? I would strongly suggest you to run a workshop. What does it mean? It means that you need just post-it notes, small post-it notes. You need 3 colors of markers. You need black marker, red and green. And you need a whiteboard on the flip chart. So a place where you can draw the template of the fishbone diagram. The template of the fishbone diagram you can find in the project template. So there's like a tab called fishbone diagram. So you can take the template from that place. And as a next step is to decide what are the people who are going to take part in the workshop. And I think it's very important that you look at your project charter, and on project charter you will see who are the people involved in your project. They should be invited for the workshop. And as well, look at the SIPOC, look at the suppliers, look at the customers, think who's involved in the process and invite all those people in to your workshop. So it's very important that you have a different views to understand why you have a problem. Okay, so let's think that you have, for example, 10 people for your workshop, invited for your workshop. Plan this workshop like 2-3 hours long, so you have a comfort of running every phase I'm going to describe you now. Please make sure people feel comfortable during the workshop, so you can provide some water, something to eat, like a small things to eat. So just try to set up the good like environment for cooperation, for working together. And very important, it's find a room that is designated this way that people have a freedom to move around the room, and you have a space around the whiteboard, and people have a comfort to go to the whiteboard and take part in the workshop. Okay, so you have post-it notes, you have markers, you have a flip chart or whiteboard. You invited people and prepare some water, some food for them. What's the next? So the next step is to present people why the workshop is run. So what is the reason you ask them to come to the workshop? And the reason is related with the problem. The problem there is on the project charter, and the problem, the same problem, you are going to move now from project charter to the head of fish, so to the place on the fishbone diagram when you have a problem area. And your goal is to collect from people their ideas, their inputs, what are the reasons why we have the problem in our process, and how to do it. So it depends how open you are with people, depends what is the culture, the company culture, the culture of the country you run the workshop in. You can do the workshop very direct, so you can distribute post-it notes to people and ask them to write on the post-it notes reasons why we have a problem in the process. So what is the root cause of the process? And you can ask people to write one root cause per one post-it note. And now you can ask people to discuss it loudly, so you can talk together about the root cause. Or you can ask people to have like 10 minutes and use as many post-it notes they want, and write down on the post-it note what are the root causes in their opinion. So for example, if they don't feel comfortable about speaking loud, what is the problem, or what is the root cause of the problem? If they don't feel comfortable to share their opinion, and even they don't want their opinion to be somehow registered, this is opinion of the particular person, you can ask them to use capital letters and give them the same color of pens, so it's hard to define who wrote each reason, and give people time. So give people time to write down all the post-it notes, and later your role as a workshop facilitator will be to collect all the post-it notes from people and allocate them on the fishbone diagram you draw on the paper, on the flip chart, on the whiteboard. And what is very important, that you can ask people to allocate their post-it note on the whiteboard. So for example, if I have a root cause related with a man, I can come to the whiteboard and put it on the area for men in terms of the root cause. So there's no like one good solution. You can ask people if they want to, everybody feel comfortable to go to the whiteboard one-to-one, present what is the root cause and in which area the root cause should be. Or you can collect all post-it notes and do it activity on your own with the support of people. So you can, for example, read what is the root cause and ask people, what do you think? In which area of the fishbone diagram this root cause should be located? And your role as a facilitator is also to make sure that you capture all duplicated root causes or causes of the problem, and you are able to put a number next to each cause or root cause. Okay, and now think that people already delivered you their inputs. All the post-it notes are on the whiteboard, on the Ishikawa diagram, and now you should think about eliminating some of the root causes by asking people one question. So, do you think that this particular root cause is in our control or out of our control? And then you can use two colors, red and green. So if people will agree that this root cause is out of our control, then you can mark this post-it with a red dot. And if the root cause is in our control, so we can do something with this, and you will get this confirmation from people involved in the workshop. Then you have a comfort of giving the green dot on the whiteboard, on the Ishikawa diagram. Okay, so now after the activity, the situation is like that you have a big whiteboard with a Ishikawa diagram, post-it notes next to each area with the dots, red when something is out of our control, green when something is in our control. And as a last step, you ask people to vote. So if you have 9 people, 10 people, usually you give 3 votes to each of the person, and you ask the people to mark their votes on the whiteboard. And in this way, you can decide together with people what are the root causes or causes that are most important, that has the biggest impact on our problem. And everybody has a freedom to use the 3 votes, whatever they want. So they can vote for one reason, for one root cause once, but they can allocate 3 votes to a particular root cause they think is so important. So this is the reason why it should be done this way. Okay, and you have the fishbone diagram ready, people voted, and your role is to prepare a list of root causes or causes with a number of votes, and number of votes per each root cause. So that's why it's so important to put a number next to each root cause. So then you have a comfort that, for example, root cause number 3 got a 9 votes, and this is the most the biggest number of votes in this workshop. Why you are doing this? The reason why is that we want to in the next phase, in the improve phase, find the solutions related with the root causes, and with the root causes that are in our control. Okay, now the fishbone diagram is ready. You have a list of root causes, and this is the moment when you should stop the workshop and give people time to think. So make them let them to have a reflection about the root causes. So, for example, maybe some people couldn't participate in this workshop, but they're very important. And your role is to send a summary of the workshop to all participants, saying big thank you for their inputs. And in the same time, please give a time to them to think about this and ask people who are not in the workshop, but their inputs are important, to give you an opinion about this. And give them like 1-2 weeks to think about all the root causes you identify together. And this first workshop will be like a part of the analyze phase. Later on, I will tell you in improve phase to run a second part of the workshop when you are going to look for solutions, for improvements. But for now, the output of the workshop is a completed list of root causes that we can present with a number of votes per each root cause, and with the comfort that all those root causes are in our control. Okay, so thank you. This video was about Ishikawa diagram, fishbone diagram, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions, and I'm really happy to support you, and good luck with your first workshop. Thank you.